Guys, I got this off. It's all old and mucky and watery and nasty from where we had it off, bead blasting it and all that. I wiped this rubber thing off. All right. Okay. Got that pretty good and clean just by hand. Now I'm going to take this rag and just put the whole rag down in here and see if we can mop up some of that gravy down there. Just mopping up dirty gravy. Check these levers out. I got these levers for like $5 a piece. I bought 2 of them for 10 bucks, free shipping. $5. Anyway, lube your spring up. That spring's important. See how I got WD-40 all over it? Get your lever all greased up. I got a friend in Virginia that freaks out when I do that, and he goes, "Why aren't you using grease on your lever pivots? Why aren't you using grease?" Well, that's fine on road race bikes. I do use grease on street bikes and road race bikes. But on motocross bikes, yeah, well, grease just attracts a bunch of dirt. So I lube them every time I ride them and race them with WD-40. I use a lot of WD-40 motocrossing, guys. I really do. So it's important when you wash your bike to go ahead and lube these pivots up. Okay, you don't have to use grease if you stay after it with something thinner. But if you're not going to stay after it, you know, the whole point is this stuff's got to be lubed up. I got some fluid in the line already, just, you know, just letting it sink down in. I haven't started pumping anything yet, obviously without a lever. See how that top nut turned when I turned that bottom one? That happens a lot. So what you got to do is make sure the bolt is tight. Make sure the bolt is tight, and then tighten your lock nut like this. And then check and make sure you got plenty of free play on the lever like I do. See that? You want to make sure that you know, it's not grinding or dragging, squeezing on that caliper metal. I mean that master cylinder metal. You'll make sure your lever's free. Hear that squeaking? Something's not greased up right, my friend in Virginia would say. Dadgummit, Quentin, you're not using grease. You're messing up. So get this stuff all good and lubed. Lube that face where that screw rides across that face right there. See? Squeaky, squeaky, go away. Alright, fluid reservoir up here. There's such a small amount of fluid in there volumetrically that you really got to be careful. I started getting some bubbles to move out of the bottom. And like I said, as soon as you get those bubbles moving, man, the fluid drops fast. It drops real slow. You get some bubbles out, and then it goes fast. And then it goes fast from then on. So, here we go. Okay, you got to stop frequently and check your fluid level. If you let the fluid level get low and you suck air in that master cylinder, it's almost like starting all over again. Almost. You don't have to purge as much air, but you do have to bleed the whole line through a second time. So you want to make sure that you keep this up while you're working. I'm going to call that good down at the caliper. I'm going to use this opportunity to show you guys a little trick I learned years ago. This won't work so good. I'm just making sure that this is tight. This trick I'm about to show you won't work so good if you got a brake line that snakes all around all different directions and goes up and down and changes elevation and all kind of stuff. I'm just doing this to keep it from eating paint or corroding or eating rubber or anything. Oh, don't get WD-40 on my tires. Oh, it's a dirt bike. All right. This trick I'm going to show you is a good trick for getting air out of a long straight line like this one. See how it just goes straight up? It's got a little bit of an uphill, downhill right there, but not much. You just kind of tap this whole line. You just kind of keep doing this for a while. And you turn this up. You turn that handlebar up so that that's an uphill. And you just let it sit. And you'll see, yep, there it goes. Did you see that? Oh, that was beautiful. Oh, look, I did it again. Get a little bit of air out. Let's do it again. That was fun. Oh, man. It's awesome knowing all these tricks I can share with you guys, isn't it? Okay. You just jiggle this line around. Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. You see there's a trap there. You see that trap right there? You pull it down. Pull it down so it's all uphill. Give it an all uphill run. All right, look right there. Let the camera focus. See if any air comes out now. Yep, a little bit. You see that, guys? A little bit. That lever's feeling rock hard right now. I mean, that's as hard as I can squeeze it right there. Yeah. That's a good bleed right there. So yeah, just a little trick of the trade. Set your fluid level down a little bit. I don't like overfilling these. A lot of guys think there's some magic benefit to having as much fluid in there as possible. I don't get that. It's just more to spill out and cause you harm. The fluid that's in that reservoir is doing absolutely nothing. The fluid that's working is already in the master cylinder and in the hose. There's no benefit to having a bunch of extra in there. Now, yeah, the brake pads wear, and as the brake pads wear, you get fluid exchange, and that's why you have a reservoir. That's why you need some extra. I get it, but you don't need that much extra. You don't want to overfill that thing, because when you do this, I'm probably liable to still have it happen. You get fluid splooching out everywhere. One good thing about motocross bikes, you don't have to worry about getting oil on the tires like you do on a road race bike. Oh my gosh, if you did that to one of my $400 Bridgestone YCY or one of my Pirelli SC2 slicks or something, whew, I know violence is a sin, but me and the Lord have to do a deal on that deal if I caught you doing something like that to one of my road race tires. I'm telling you. Those things are very expensive, and they don't have knobbies. They only grip by adhesion of rubber on flat asphalt. But the good thing about motocross, see that? It's not going to hurt anything. I'm going to wash the bike. You're going to go ride in the dirt. Who cares? It's a lot simpler and easier to deal with. So, alright, I'm done being goofy. Now, just like on the rear brake, the last thing you want to do is protect the line, keep it away from the back tire. Same thing in the front. They got this bracket there keeping the cable from being able to go in and hit the wheel. See how even if I push on it, it can't get to it. Between being bolted there and bracketed there, that cable's restricted from getting anywhere near that rotating front wheel. But yeah, let's get the front number plate on here and see what's going to happen with the cable guides. See what's going to happen with how we're going to secure all this to make it safe so none of it falls down and gets hooked up under the computer like that. See that? Bad. No good. Bad. No good. Because then when you turn hard, your cable's all jammed up under there. So this all has to stay up here like this. Moving on to the front number plate. You see that tab is right by my smashed up thumb that I hammer smashed? Yeah, look at that. Infection's going away. It's healing up pretty good. Alright, but look at that. See that tab? That's going to hook behind this hose like so. And then these got to get twisted down around the fork. Kind of like this. I kind of like this because it keeps the front of the bike looking cleaner. Whatever system you have, make sure that this hose, this brake hose, can go up and be free and not get bound up in the fork. See how that thing is designed to just slide up and down, up and down, up and down? And that way, as the forks compress, that hose can just come up. Solution to the problem of all these cables and wires running down and getting hooked up under that ECU. This is designed for this, by the way. This is designed for one of these diddly-doos to go down in there. But I'm just going to use the steering stem for that. And then watch what I can do with this. And I'll just leave it loose like that. I'll just leave it loose. And that'll keep the wire or either cable from falling down in underneath that CDI box. And then the hose will just slide on that guide as it's pushed by this guide, because that's physically clamping it. So that'll push it up through there. And I'm not going to zip tie that to anything because it needs to be able to flex up. It needs to be able to go up where my hand is. As this shock completely compresses, fork, then this hose needs to come up here freely. And I don't want to attach it to anything. I want to leave it loose. But the throttle cable, the clutch cable, and that wire right there all needs to stay up above that CDI box. So that's my solution for that.